supremacy and really exert some force there. But I was a little surprised at how they struggled against the Vikings.
All right, now sacks. Do the Cowboys have enough to win this division now? Because to me personally, it's coming down to a two-team race in this division.
Yeah,
It was the Cowboys and the Redskins.
right.
Cowboys and Redskins.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not looking into Nick Foles' performance that much. I mean, it was.
That's why I'm saying the Cowboys and Redskins.
Yeah.
He's not going to throw 7 touchdowns again.
No.
And their defense is pitiful.
Yeah. I think. However it turns out, it's going to be close down the stretch. I mean, no team is going to pull away in that division, and the winner will probably finish 8-8, roughly
8-8 at best.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think this is the NFC West of when what team finished 7-9.
The Seahawks.
Seahawks finished 7-9 and won the division.
Yeah.
I think this is what this division's looking like.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go that Dallas is gonna win this division. But let's get into the Eagles this past week, since they've had the best performance of the division this week.
Well, the best
Offensive performance.
Yeah, best offensive performance, and that was Nick Foles having an NFL career day, the game of his life.
Game of his life.
Yep.
By far, thrown for over 400 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Tying an NFL record right there.
That was set earlier by Peyton Manning. I mean, he was something else. It's crazy to think going into the fourth quarter, still 15 minutes left on the clock, he had already thrown 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean,
in 45 minutes of play.
I thought that after Peyton Manning's Week 1 game, that was going to be the best performance by a quarterback this season, and then Nick Foles happened yesterday. So.
Yeah.
Not to mention, he only completed 22 passes. That's pretty impressive.
But if you notice, the passes that he threw down the field were bombs for the touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
Deshaun Jackson was a bomb. Riley Cooper got a bomb pass.
Yeah. The Oakland secondary was just
horrible.
Pitiful.
Yeah, bad.
I really didn't expect that.
Charles Woodson's a little bit over the hill.
Well, that's why
you got the best out of him, though.
Yeah.
That's why he's not with the Packers anymore.
You got the Super Bowl out of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Foles was something else under center yesterday, and it makes you wonder, will Chip Kelly come out and say Foles is the starter for the remainder of the year? I mean, what is he waiting for? Is he waiting for Vic?
I think he has to make him the starter.
Is he waiting for Vic to come back and then he plays 2 plays and gets injured again? I mean, enough of that offense that you used to run in Oregon. I mean, it's time to move on.
His system is a college system. It's not going to work here.
It's time to move on. And like I said, I remember we had a discussion about Foles earlier in the year. I mean, I think it's time to announce that he's the starter from here on out.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that Nick Foles has been so loyal to the Eagles, and like he's been there through so much that I think
he was there since McNabb, right?
Right. Yeah. I think it's finally time that he gets his share, and yesterday's performance is a case why. Yeah, all right. He's not going to do that every week. I know that,
obviously.
But he definitely deserves his time in the spotlight.
Exactly, and I think that Michael Vick is, while he is a dynamic player, I think he's a little bit past his, not a little bit past his prime. I think he's past his prime. I think that the only thing I hear from from Michael Vick is that his career is going to go down, and Nick Foles is on the way up, and I think he proved that yesterday.
Well, I mean, yeah, he definitely proved that, and in his starts this year, I mean, he took on the Giants, defeated, beat the Giants.
Foles?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was terrific against the Giants.
He beat the Giants.
He had 3 touchdowns in the second half.
He beat Tampa Bay, who's awful, but nonetheless a win. He lost to Dallas, and then now he beat Oakland. 3-1 went with him starting.
All right, now see,
I mean, it's not.
He beat bad teams, but he destroyed the bad teams, which he's supposed to do.
Yes.
Still, yeah, which is much better than what you've been getting out of Vic, who's like I said, comes in, scrambles about 10 times, and then pulls his hamstring or has some type of injury.
He's always hurt. You can't win with a guy like Vic.
I think. This season could, if they play Michael Vick,
it's terrible.
Could be like Brett Favre's last season in the NFL. Kind of just decimated by injuries and then just end terribly for them.
Yeah, and as far as the Eagles are concerned, I think that even if they do put Nick Foles in as a starting quarterback, I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. Even though they are 4-5 and can make the playoffs,
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs because of their defense and how bad it is. I think the defense is really bad.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Any of you?
I
mean, it's pretty bad.
I agree that it's bad, but I think that with the way that Chip Kelly manufactures offense, that if they get into a shootout, they could potentially win a good fit, a good amount.
I mean,
but
they're
when the chips are on the line, you need your defense, and so I don't think they're going to make a playoff run.
Their defense,
to the playoffs because of their defense
is so weak.
It's weak.
That if it does come down to a shootout, they will not be able to keep up.
Right.
You have to.
Yeah.
All right. So a team they're gonna have to shoot out with
Yeah.
in the NFC is gonna be what? Dallas,
Well, look,
San Fran,
here we go.
Green Bay.
Here we go. Next week,
Yeah,
next
exactly.
week, the Eagles have Green Bay. If
They're
that
not gonna
gets
win.
into a shootout,
No,
Foles
they're
is
not.
not
They're
gonna
not.
beat Aaron Rodgers in a shootout.
No, I was never saying that.
No, I know that.
Yeah,
but I know what you mean.
yeah,
The offense can carry them.
Yeah, that if they get into a shootout with, I don't know, let's say,
Seahawks.
yeah,
The Seahawks. I think that if the Eagles.
well, if the Seahawks have the refs on their side, they'll win that shootout.
All right, here, bitter Green Bay fan.
It's
that
the
Golden
truth.
Tate got pushed in the back and.
Fail Mary, please.
Yeah,
Don't even
bitter,
start.
just bitter. Anyway, Joe. Anyway, let's not bring up the past. The
What
past
you
is
love
the
to
past.
do about the New
The
York
past
Giants
is
and their
the
Super Bowl.
past.
Exactly. The past is the
The
past.
past is the past. The Eagles will come in third place.
I say they could stay and maintain that second place spot with Foles behind center, but not only Foles' play, which is going to be key, LaShawn McCoy.
Right.
Who's having,
His
to
best
me,
season.
his best season. And he won't win MVP, but he's having an MVP caliber season.
Yeah, to me, the MVP of the league is
Oh, Peyton Manning.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
Peyton Manning. I
you
mean,
can't
you
touch
can't-
Peyton
no.
Manning right now. But I'm saying LaShawn McCoy, his performance, the way he's been playing, if he could continue to play at that level, along with Nick Foles bringing this offense up, they might. They're not going to make much noise, but in a awful NFC East division, they'll be contending for a spot.
Right.
Maybe at 7 and 9.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. But I also can't ignore Robert Griffin III and how he's becoming to come back into form a little bit.
And
Yeah.
Do you think so?
yeah.
I think he's been looking better.
I'm still a little leary of saying
You
that.
see him dive over get that first down yesterday.
Yeah,
It
I'm
looks
sure-
looks like a healthy RG3.
Yeah, I'm sure all Redskins fans
Yeah,
were worried about that because
Yeah.
he almost landed on his
Stupid
neck.
play, stupid
Yeah,
play, but
yeah.
it was a great play, but stupid play.
Yeah, I think he's still a little cautious, but I do think that he is showing his form again.
Right.
Yeah, well, they had a big win yesterday over the San Diego Chargers, 30-24 in overtime.
I didn't think they were going to win that game.
Same.
I thought the Chargers were
same.
impressing me, but I did hear about a Danny Woodhead touchdown.
Yep,
when
yeah.
He reached the ball that hit the pylon and didn't call it touchdown or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't reach it.
Yeah,
he didn't hit it.
The Chargers had the ball at the 6, and Rivers threw a pass to Woodhead, and yeah, I think I don't know. I guess the ruling on the field originally was
Yeah.
a touchdown, and then they reversed it and brought it back
That was
to
a
the
big
1,
play.
and then they kicked the game-tying field goal instead of having the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, it's a
and
big
then
play.
lost
They
in
could
OT.
have went ahead there and maybe even won the game. But
Now what that game will call my eye was not really RG3's performance, but the fact that the Redskins were able to establish a run game, control the clock completely, outplay. They had over 40 minutes time of possession.
Right.
And Alfred Morris had 121 yards, 1 touchdown, and then you had their fullback Darrell Young looking like Jerome Bettis over there with his stat line with 5 carries, 12 yards, and what he punched 3 touchdowns he punched in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ridiculous. And prior to this game, Young had 2 carries for his career. 2.
Yeah.
2. So, I mean, they found, who knows what they found? You really can't tell. It's one game. This is such a weird year in the NFL, and
a lot of mediocre teams and a lot of surprises.
But one team before we have to go to the break. One team that I feel is being very overlooked in the NFC. Do you think you know what I'm talking about?
The Carolina Panthers.
The Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
The Carolina Panthers look good.
Yeah.
And they look scary. Cam Newton is starting to become, this elite, not elite quarterback, but
upper echelon.
Andrew Luck is becoming upper echelon, and now I think Cam Newton is becoming upper echelon.
Yeah.
And he's carrying this team.
I mean, yeah, they're on.
They're looking good.
They've won 4 in a row now.
Kuechly is a beast.
5 of their last 6.
Right.
They're playing well.
You can't ignore them.
You can't ignore them. On the same side, though, if you look at the teams that they've defeated, all 5 of their victories, they're all coming against weak teams.
I'm not
knocking.
Terrible for the whole NFL, Joe.
I'm not knocking Cam Newton. He's looking great over there. But you beat the Giants. You destroyed the Giants, which you should have done.
All right. Yeah.
You destroyed Minnesota, which you should have done. You beat St. Louis. Okay. You destroyed Tampa. Okay, you should have done that because they're awful. Even though they gave the Seahawks a fight this week, which was a shock. And then they beat a bad Falcons team who has nobody.
Decimated with injuries, Falcons team.
I mean, Matt Ryan might as well give me a call to see if I want to play wide receiver over there because he's thrown to
Harry Douglas. That's it.
Harry Douglas, exactly. Harry Douglas.
And they got Steven Jackson back, but that really wasn't anything. But watch for the Carolina Panthers. Watch for them. Kuechly is a beast.
Here's where
Kuechly, Star Lotulelei, they're beasts.
All right, I'm gonna say watch for the Carolina Panthers.
That's my team to watch.
After this stretch that they have coming, they got to play next week at San Fran, and then the following week against New England, and then at Miami. Those are 3 key games. If they could pull out 2 wins out of those 3 games, then I'll say watch out Miami.
Well, I think they can.
I'll say watch out for the Carolina.
I think
Panthers.
they can beat the. Go ahead.
Go on.
I was gonna say I think they can. Are they at New England?
No, they're home. They're home against New England.
They're gonna beat Miami.
Yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I'm pretty confident they're gonna beat Miami.
And then the San Fran's at home or away? Away, I think.
Away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see them.
I don't have confidence in Kaepernick this year though.
I don't see them winning either of those 2 games.
Really? You think they're gonna lose both games?
Yeah, and then they'll beat the Dolphins.
And I think
1 and 2 in that stretch.
Exactly.
1 and 2 in that stretch, Joe.
Yeah.
1 and 2 in that stretch. Then you still week 14, week 16. You have to play the Saints twice.
So they'd be 6 and 5.
They,
After this 3-week stretch, they can be 6 and 5.
Yeah.
They have some tough competition.
I don't know. Maybe I have too much confidence in the Panthers. I think they can win. I think they can beat San Fran. Although is Aldon Smith coming back?
I'm not too sure.
He got
that. Yeah.
If Aldon Smith is coming back, it's a different story because Cam Newton's not going to be able to rush to the outside.
It's just that they've played some bad teams and they've won games that they should have won.
Right.
If you look at their loss, they lost to Arizona 22-6. They lost to Buffalo week 2 by 1 point, and they lost to Seattle, who's probably in my books overrated as could be.
Seattle
at 12-7 for week 1 against the Panthers.
Seattle.
They're overrated.
Going into the season, I thought they were legit, especially with Percy Harvin. But now that the way things are playing out, they don't really look as good.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Good teams find a way to win, which they've obviously have. But here we go. Week 1, 12-7 at Carolina. They only win 12-7 at Carolina. Week 4 at Houston, they win 23-20 in overtime. Week 6 against Tennessee, 20-13. Week 8 against St. Louis, who started Clemens at quarterback, 14-9. And yesterday against Tampa Bay, the winless Tampa Bay Bucks, 27-24 in overtime.
And down 21-0 in that game.
And they can't stop the run. That's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're very overrated.
Yeah. Their secondary is a bunch of beasts, though. Their secondary, you cannot.
They're both. Yeah, I'll agree with you with that, but offensively.
Even before the year, like I know everyone was having them come out of the NFC, and for lack of anyone else, I kind of assumed that they would be, but I was not. Even as of last year, I wasn't sold on them.
I don't think they're coming out of the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Oh no, absolutely not. I'd be very surprised if
the
they
NFC
do.
is so up for grabs. I don't even know. I'm having so much trouble deciding. At first I thought going into the season Broncos, Seahawks Super Bowl, and now I have no idea. I think
No.
The Broncos are still remaining up there.
I think the Broncos are up there for me. The Chiefs defense is a monster defense though.
I'm interested to see
I'm all
first.
confused. This whole NFL season's got me. I don't even know. It's confusing. I've never been so confused on who to pick in my life.
Yeah. 2 weeks.
It's just bothering me. Like every week.
Because everything's not clear cut.
Everything. I'm like, all right, this week is good. This is gonna happen, and it doesn't happen. And then I was like, well, then this has to happen. I mean, the Jets was a perfect example. The Patriots, they have nobody on their receiving core. The thing with Dobson. I mean, this guy Dobson's dropping everything, and now he went off this week. It was the Steelers though. But then, the Texans. This guy Case Keenum. I'm like, all right, the Texans are done, and then they're putting up a fight now.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really unpredictable. Very, very, very unpredictable.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe started to mention it 2 weeks from now, the Broncos-Chiefs game.
Yeah, which was scheduled for a 4 o'clock game, but is now changed to an 8 p.m. game.
Yeah.
And they changed the Green Bay Giants game, which would have been a good matchup, but, the Giants are doing terrible, so that's why they decided to move them to the 4:25 game.
The insignificant Giants this year.
The insignificant Giants.
The Giants and the Steelers, just another example of how weird this year has been, and the year of where running backs were supposed to break out. Trent Richardson, David Wilson, C.J. Spiller, they have done nothing. So we'll see what happens going down the line. And we're going to take a quick break. And after the break, we're going to get into NBA.